Welcome to In an Instant. This is the Instant Lounge. My name is Ben, and today we're going to discuss the art of Instagramming your instant film. Let's go.
The kind of photography that would become part of the human being. Press a button and have the picture.
Back in the day, you took a Polaroid picture and then, well, that was it. You had a picture now. But like it or not, we live in modern times and people want to share those pictures to the World Wide Web. So if you're watching this video, you probably care about how your Instagram looks. You can scoff at this process all you want, but for most people, Instagram is that final step to showing your art to the world. How that whole thing looks and how it's designed is no small part of that. Just like deciding on frames and layout in an art gallery. So a question I get asked all the time is, how I'm doing this shit? For a lot of people starting out, they're using the Polaroid app. Polaroid essentially has a scanning tool within the app that allows you to take an image at an angle to avoid glare, which it then undistorts to give you a quote-unquote scan of the picture. This might be okay for quick and dirty stuff, but it's super imperfect, relying on whatever light condition you're taking the picture of a picture in, and can result in weird color casts and low resolution, and we ain't down for any of that. So let's do it better. Here I have an Epson V370. We got a couple of these in the studio. This is a really inexpensive scanner, relatively for what it can do. Only 130 bucks. You can go crazier with higher end scanners, but you're scanning a Polaroid. I mean, let's be real here. You might think, great, I have the scanner, and that's all I need. Well, not quite. When scanning instant film with a flatbed scanner, one of the most common problems is something called Newton's rings. These imperfections are caused by the reflectiveness of the scanner's glass and the surface of the Polaroid, which is also reflective, interfering with one another. When the Polaroid is pressed into the glass, it causes these rings to pop up. The Impossible Project used to produce an adapter with little insets to prevent this problem, but they stopped making them, obviously, and you can't get them anymore. If you can find one, it's extremely expensive. Actually, a day after recording this video, Brooklyn Film Camera released a collaboration with a company called Cameradactyl that is an updated version of this. It was priced at $55. It's sold out immediately and may still remain very difficult to find. So there is a way to make your own, and the rest of this video is still about that post-process that is relevant whether you buy the adapter or not. So I made my own version of it using black foam core. I cut it to the dimensions of my flatbed scanner and placed double-sided tape in 4 spots to scan 4 Polaroids at once. Technically, what you want to achieve here is relieving the contact between the glass and the film and, relieving that pressure, but I did a different version of this with cutouts around where the pictures would be, and it just looked like shit. I mean, you lose part of the frame if it sits too far back in this foam core. So what I did was remove the backing unit of the scanner. This is pretty important. It leaves a little gap here so that I can rest the pictures inside and there isn't pressure on the photos and you don't get the rings, even though there's not really like a cutout here. The black card is pulling double duty, and I'll explain why in a second, but let's actually scan some pics. Why not? I mean, we're here. We may as well do this. So, I try to do this more or less, perfectly, but you're never gonna get it quite straight, and I'll sort of explain why that doesn't totally matter soon. Always wipe them down. You don't want no fingerprints. Let's do it. Alrighty. So open up the Epson Scan software. Let's do that. And you really do not have to go into the advanced settings for this, but here is what you have to do. Make sure the document source is scanner glass. The doc type is reflective, and make sure you're working with 48-bit color and make that resolution 600 dpi. Some people go 1200 dpi, but that's definitely not necessary for Instagram. I mean, definitely not. Basically what I'm doing when I scan is imaging the entire surface of the scanner. So you can select individual areas of the scanner and have it output, high resolution images of that area, but it's very slow to do it that way. That's something that you would do with like 35mm or 120 film, but it's not really necessary with a Polaroid. So 600 dpi will give us a high enough quality scan so that we can crop these later and still have hardy, chunky, little chunky monkey files to work with. We love chunky monkey files. Smash scan. Wait patiently, drink your coffee, commit a war crime or two, whatever's your thing. I mean, look, I'm not judging. Boom. All right, we got this image. What you do next is definitely a matter of preference. I'm gonna show you my Instagram account now, And this is how I personally post my film. I do it in a series of 3s. I post each series on the same day, and I make a design for each series that is more or less pulling from the unified color palette of those 3 images. This is definitely an extra step that adds time, and I'm not necessarily recommending this. You can go with solid backgrounds or the image itself, which, well, I'll show you how to do that. So first I open this image up in Photoshop. Using the magic wand tool, I'll select the black area with a tolerance of 60 since we have really defined lines here. This is another major benefit of the black backing we used in the scanner. It makes this way easier. So delete that. There will be some small dust areas not totally selected, but that's really not gonna matter. Next, just select each image roughly with the shape tool. Just pop it out as a new layer. Do that for each. Now, I've got this line I made here with the shape tool, and I always have this sitting here because it makes it super easy to correct the orientation of the Polaroids. They're gonna be slightly askew, we tape them to a black card. There's not, exact defined boxes in there. So it's very easy to fix it if you just have this straight line here. And you want to keep it as straight as possible when scanning, but it's rarely going to be 100% straight. So this is an easy way to correct that. Now, let's say you just want to post the Polaroid itself, no additional background. Select it, create an image from this layer, and you can now save it from here, JPEG, PNG, whatever you want. But if you want to format it as a square and put something behind it, you can just go ahead and throw it into, a 2000 by 2000 square canvas. Then your backing layer can be anything. I mean, if you want to make it the image, obviously just duplicate it and then resize it, and voila. I mean, looks pretty good. For me, if I'm posting Polaroids online, I like to go that extra step. I mean, my account is definitely a reflection of my style and who I am, and the sort of design that influences me. So yours can just be the images or crop so you don't see the borders at all, which some people do. Many want the pictures to just speak for themselves, but I think do whatever feels right for you. And the important thing is definitely to do it consistently. Whatever you do, just do it consistently so you get that uniform look. If you really care about how your Instagram looks, just make sure, pick a thing and do it. So hopefully this helped you out. If you have any additional questions, drop a comment. Thank you for watching in an instant. Go ahead and scan that subscribe button with your finger. Stay tuned for more reviews, tips, tricks, breakdowns, all things instant. Bye.